In times of turmoil, they say that like the searing dawn, he appears to dissuade the forces of evil from their harsh doings. You know, they say he is a force more powerful than that of the sun. What's going on, everybody? This is the War Chariot, and today I'm bringing you the next installment of my Dark Souls 3 PvP build series. I bring you the Auroral Knight. Today we are doing the quality build. Now, some of you probably are asking yourselves, what exactly is a quality build? And a quality build is a build that looks similar to how you would level a first character. Whenever you did your first playthrough of any Souls game, you probably leveled your stats somewhat evenly. You know, you put some into Vigor, you put some into Strength, or maybe Dex, depending on what weapons you were finding, and depending on what kind of scaling they had. Now, this build is sort of like that, in a way that it's a lot stronger because the leveling is more thought out than a first character. So, let's take a look at these stats. We have 39 Vigor, 30 Endurance, 30 Vitality, 45 Strength, and 45 Dex. The Attunement, Intelligence, Faith, and Luck are all base stats, so we don't have to worry about those. And you can see pretty much every stat that I have leveled is within about 10 levels of each other, making it somewhat of a flat quality build. The key here is the Strength and Dex. You want to level those evenly and pick weapons that have good and even scaling in Strength and Dex, which is what we did. And you'll see that in a moment. The Vigor, you want it about 35, 40, just so you have enough health to afford to take hits from, bigger weapons, such as some of the big strength weapons. Endurance, we are using dex weapons as well as big strength weapons, and we wanted enough endurance to get those big swings off when we're using things such as the greatsword that we have chosen, and also more quick dexy weapons such as the rapier that we have chosen. You want to be able to get enough pokes in, and you want to have enough endurance to get off big combos. The Vitality, that's kind of like a, well, what kind of armor do you want to wear stat. I wanted to wear the armor that I've chosen because I thought it looked really nice, but it's kind of heavy, so I needed enough Vitality to hold that. If yourself, you don't want to wear heavier armor and you wanted to wear lighter armor such as like a robe or something like a sorcerer would wear just for the fashion of it, then you can have lower Vitality. The Vitality is kind of a custom stat that you can choose to increase or decrease based on the armor you want to wear, but it worked at 35 for me, so that's why I chose it. So that is the stat lineup. Let's take a quick look at our attack power. As you can see, our first, second, and third weapons there on the right hand are all higher than roughly 400. I mean, the third weapon there is 398, but basically 400. You can see our weapon 1 for the right side attack power is 676, which is huge. The second weapon is 400, and the third also basically 400. And you'll see that the same scaling in Strength and Dex works really well there because we have leveled our Strength and Dex evenly. So a CC or a BB or a DD really benefits from that even scaling. So let's move over to the build and we will show you what we have. Starting off, we have a refined Lothric Greatsword plus 10, a refined Gotthard Twin Swords plus 10, and a refined Estok plus 10. Now, you're probably asking why I refined everything, and I really didn't know in the beginning either. What I did was I leveled each weapon up to plus 10, like I usually do, and then I went to infusions and was curious if there's any infusion that would make the weapons hit even harder. And after going through every single gem, including heavy and sharp, because I know I have strength and dex weapons here, refined boosted the attack power the most for every one, so that's why I went with refined. Now for my Kaistus, simple infusion simply for increased FP. When you do the weapon art on some of these weapons, it will only check to see that you have FP, not that you have enough. So, when anything is infused with simple, it slowly over time restores FP, even when you don't have it out. So, if you're using the S-Stock and you're burning through FP and you're using all your weapon arts, and you have this simple Keistis equipped, all you have to do is wait about 2 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds, and then you'll be able to do it again because you'll have 2 or 3 points of FP, even though the FP cost here is 14. So that's a simple little trick you can do there. Also, the Keistis is a nice parry option. I'm not the best at it, but it doesn't hurt to always try sometimes. And if you're good at it, it suits you just that much more. Now, our equipment is simply fashion. We have the Elite Knight Helm, the Silver Knight Armor, the Shadow Gauntlets, and the Silver Knight Leggings. Simply fashion. You can pick and choose and switch that however you want. Although I will say this armor does give us a decent amount of physical damage absorption. Now for our rings, Chloranthy, pretty much self-explanatory. Boosts our stamina recovery speed, and that is always important. The Ring of Favor and Havel's Ring, really just because I needed enough equip load to carry all this, and that's why I have that, although the Ring of Favor does give us that increased health and stamina bonus, so that is always nice. And we have the Leo Ring. This is the most important ring of the build. This ring strengthens thrust weapon counterattacks. Now every single one of these weapons has ridiculously strong thrusting attacks. And when comboed with this ring, if you catch someone while they're moving, attacking you, or running at you, or any one of those, and you hit them with a thrust, the Leo Ring is triggered, and you will hit for huge, huge, huge amounts of damage. The Godhard Twin Swords, when you're two-handing them, they have a rolling double poke, and I hit someone once for over 1,500 damage because of this Leo Ring. It added an extra 600-700 damage or something like that than it normally would without it, and it is totally worth it. So definitely want to make the most use of that as we can. And the only other thing that matters here is our gold pine resin. When imbued, for example, it takes our Lothric Knight Greatsword from a 676 damage up to 771 on its attack power rating. So definitely worth it to have that. And because it does lightning damage already, it is kind of neat that when you imbue it with lightning, it has that look to it with all the lightning running around the blade. It's got a nice aesthetic to it, which I've always found pleasing. Anyway, that is the build. As you can see, we have our CC, our BB, and our CC equal scaling we were talking about earlier. Just to show you that in case you missed it. Now the only thing left to do is get into the arena and show you what exactly we are capable of. Now I will commentate the first few matches to kind of go over what I'm using and what I'm trying to do with the build, what I'm trying to get out of each weapon, and how I plan to use it. My main weapons, I'll probably be starting most of the time with either the Twin Swords or the S-Stock, and then switching to other weapons as needed. And a neat thing with these Twin Swords will show you that rolling poke that I was talking about is extremely overpowered if you can get someone who doesn't know how to defend against it. So, I'm going to lay down my sign, hopefully we get summoned in, and I will see you in the first match. Alright, coming into our first match here, see what we're up against. And looks like the host, maybe. I don't know if he's fighting or what the fuck's going on. Alright, he wants to dance? We'll dance. I'm gonna start things off with our sword here, our Lothric Knight Greatsword. We'll show you our poke if we can get it off. There it is. And a backstab. Wow. Switch over to Lothric, or not Lothric, but the Godhards. Little pokey poke. He's gonna try and parry us. So what we're gonna do if he's gonna try and parry is we're gonna do our weapon art, because the first cycle in the weapon art for this weapon is not parryable. But not necessary because, well, yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on up there, but not bad. Host destroyed. Easy money. Gonna start things off now with the S-Stock, and Maybe switch into the twin swords or the great sword that we're using, if need be. Some people are super retarded when it comes to playing against an S-Stock, and you can pretty much just poke spam them to death. We have to watch and be sure that he's not trying to parry, because the S-Stock is very easy to parry. Not sure exactly what he's got going on. Yep, he's trying to parry. Yeah, he tried to parry and use shitty throw behind your back bombs, and that didn't really work out too well. I don't know why people use those. They suck so much. They don't fucking do anything. But anyway, not a bad win with the S-Stock. The one thing you gotta be careful about with this build is that it's very easily parried. The Goddard Twin Swords, along with the S-Stock, pretty much all the moves are easily parried. The Goddard Twin Swords, the first swing of the weapon art is not parryable, but everything else is. So you really got to be on the lookout. The Great Sword is parryable, but less people will try to parry it, so you usually don't have to worry too much about that. So yeah, you really want to pay attention to that, and always remember to use your buff, because it adds about an extra 100 to 130 damage onto any of the weapons you're using. Now this guy's got a scythe, so we just have to watch out for basically combos. Should be able to knock him off. He's hitting for shit. Yeah. Goddard Twin Swords are too quick for a slow weapon like that. And you can't afford to trade. That attack right there is the best attack ever. That combo with the Leo Ring makes for epic wins. I think for this fight, we're going to start with the Goddard Twin Swords, and then if we don't see anything out of him right away, we're going to switch up to the Great Sword. Using the fucking Goddards. Yeah, he's fucked. You don't know how to use him. Bro, what the fuck was that? Yeah, I guess we didn't need anything else but these bad boys. Alright, this last fight here, or what might be the last fight, before we go into our montage, we're going to try and go through all three weapons, starting with the S-Stock, going to the Great Sword, and then to Goddard's, seeing if we can mix it up and catch everyone off guard with what we're capable of, and we'll buff each of them if we have time. So we'll just stand and chill here and wait for these fights to finish, and we'll jump in when it's time. Alright, so let's get our stock buffed. And these may seem like I'm using some OP weapons, and they are. The S-Stock and the Goddard Twin Swords are both pretty broken. And, I don't know, they just fit well with the build. And then that Lothric Knight Greatsword, I didn't expect that thing to be as good as it is. That really caught me by surprise. And then when I read the Leo Ring again and I put 2 and 2 together, I'm like, damn, the rolling attack on this thing's got to hit for some stupid damage. Alright, bro, you gonna fight or what? Come on. I have to rebuff my goddamn weapon. It's been taken 6 years. Yeah, let's fucking gesture and now fight. What do you got? What do you got? Manikari? Yeah, now he's gonna parry, so we're gonna switch up to the Great Sword. Buff it because he's retarded because he's letting us. We're gonna hit him. We're gonna hit him. And now we're gonna fucking cut him up like that. Look at that. just going through the motions. Alright, Mr. Oh, he's gonna try and paint a guardian us, isn't he? We gotta be careful here. He's gonna try and get a bleed proc. You know, I think it's best that we just go this route with this guy because we can't let him get in close. And he's got no fucking health. Yeah, sad thing is, you're gonna do no damage, bro. Because I don't know what the fuck was going through your head when you created that build, but you're obviously not thinking too much. Yeah. Bye. Fuck off. Me and the host? Sounds good. I like greatsword v greatsword. Not good enough, though. Not good enough. Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the commentated section. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the PvP montage I've put together. We'll see you at the end.
Feel me like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.
Alright guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the PvP sessions. Going to give you one last look at the build here, just to show you anything you missed. Key stats, like I said before, were strength and dex at 45 apiece. They go well with the even scaling on all our weapons. This build is also very susceptible to parries. Forgot to mention that in the beginning, so be very careful with the rapier and the Goddard twin swords. If someone's trying to parry you, switch up your attack, switch your weapon, switch to movesets that can't be parried, and you should do just fine. This is a 140 build. This was on a new game character. I did grind up to 140. You can do the same if you'd like. It's not super hard. Just get a big strength weapon, go to Archdragon Peak, and beat the hell out of that Drake Blood Knight until you get the souls you need. Also, I probably will take this character up to 160 and remake the quality build with some type of faith aspect to it, so I can use really strong buffs and see if we can get that attack power up to 700 plus before buffing. And then after buffing, hopefully you can get up to like 800 something. That would be really kind of cool. And if I do come up with something neat and powerful and I think it's worth it, I'll probably make another build video and it'll be like the quality build 2.0 or something like that. So, give you a look at the fashion and all the other stuff. Those are our 3 weapons, our simple Keistus, our awesome fashion, our rings, and obviously our gold pine resin. So, that about wraps it up. Hope you've all enjoyed as much as I have, and I hope some of you try the build out. It's not hard to do. You just got to get used to the weapons, and you will do just fine. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video as much as I did, and enjoyed the matches, and enjoyed sitting back and watching some good PvP as much as I did. And we'll see you guys in the next episode of my Dark Souls 3 PvP build series.